Now anticipate. Anticipate in this process, and when I respond to the word anticipate, what I'm referring to is anticipating objections. I'm sure you've all heard when you're in the sales process, we talk about before you go in and make a presentation, you can kind of think through the objections that are going to come up during the presentation. And you either address those early on, or you wait till they bring them up and then you counter them, correct? Either wait for the objection and you counter it, or you bring the objection up early and give them an answer for it so it doesn't come back later, right? Like close the doors as you go along. Same thing in setting appointments. A lot of times we don't look at the appointment setting process as a different process, and it really is. Setting appointments has some stages to it. If you set the appointment, we've got to anticipate objections. If you don't, you're going to get caught off guard. And when you get caught off guard and you start to hesitate, that's when the receiver starts to come down. The phone starts to get put down, the door starts to close. Because you've got that 10 to 12 second window to keep the person on the phone or keep the door open. And you've got to really be ready and anticipate what they're going to say. So no matter what script you use, Lee, no matter what direct mail leads you have, no matter what TV commercials run, every time you have something in writing or something is said, it causes a set of objections. Somebody's going to object. If you even said, I've got the information, send it to me. If somebody said to you that you had the mail came in and you call up and said, hi, I'm talking to concerned seniors, what am I concerned about? You've got to think when you write something out, there's going to be a cause and effect. So here's the point. I'll give you a good example. If you had an approach that said, hi, Mr. Jones, I'm with XYZ Insurance Company. The reason I'm calling you is I've got your information you requested. What do you think the most natural objection from anybody never going to insurance buying school is going to be when I said I've got your information?
What information is that?
What information is that, right? So they're going to say. Or, why don't you just send it? That cuts it nice and short and gets rid of it, right? Oh, I thought you're going to mail it to me. Right? That comes right back. That's just a natural thing that comes out because you set it up for yourself to have that happen, by the way. Because you said you got their information. They don't have to think anymore. Go, oh, you got it, just mail it. You go, no, no, I don't want you to say that. If you don't want them to say that, then don't say you have it. Very simple, right? You change the approach. Say, hi, Mr. Jones, Don Runge. Mr. Jones, the reason I'm calling you, you requested that you had some questions concerning Medicare that you'd like somebody to give you straight and honest answers to. Tuesday, better Wednesday when I come by and do that for you. I didn't say I had any information. You requested, I know you requested information, which meant you had questions. I'm just one step ahead of you. I knew that's what you meant, that you had questions. You didn't want me to send you some big old book. So I knew that already, so I understand what you're saying to me. So now I translate that and say, good. Chet, I'm calling you up because I got your message and I've got answers to your questions. Well, what questions did I have? Miss Jones, I'm not sure. Well, Mary, you got some questions? I don't know questions. Dog might have had those questions. Dog's always asking somebody something. So what you end up doing is they're all lost and going because you got them all. They're curious. They don't know what's going on. They're going, well, we don't have any objections. We don't even have questions. What's going on here? You say, well, how long is this going to take? Do you have a lot of questions? No, we don't have a lot of questions. Good. Won't take very long. Tuesday, better Wednesday. Okay. We got some guy coming to answer questions we don't have. I don't know what's going on here, but we got something going on. And they start talking to each other. You know, they just kind of run around. But you've thrown them off guard. You've thrown them off guard. And what ends up happening is you're taking people who have no practice nor training for what you're doing, and you're expecting them to help you through the process. Like, don't you remember what information you wanted, Chris, and you sent for this thing? You don't remember this card? No. I've seen a lot of cards in my days. My eyes are getting bad. I don't remember that card. I mean, this is not a unique card to the world here. I mean, they do see cards like this coming in. See, and they've passed up a lot of them. So remember, it's not the argument you want to start. It's you want to make them feel good about what they did. Don't try to make them feel embarrassed because they can't remember. You know, don't talk down to them. What do you mean you don't remember, Jack? I'm not coming out there if you can't remember the dumb card. I don't work with people like that. That's how it sounds. That's how it sounds. Say, Ms. Jones, that's okay. Most of the people I'm working with, they can't remember all this mail you get. See, there's tons of mail that you get, right? Gee whiz, we understand that. That's why we're calling up as a courtesy call. Or if you're calling the telephone, Ms. Jones, we know the reason I'm stopping at your house, you don't want to talk to all those telemarketers. You probably got answering machines on there and all those code IDs on there to cut all those calls off. Oh, yeah, we got that fancy detector. Okay, good. So you go right in there with them. So if you're calling in person, you're telling them because you don't want to handle all those telemarketing calls. When you call them on the phone, you don't want anybody just stopping by and announce, do you? No. Just reverse it and go right with the flow. They'll agree with you. Go right with the flow. Yeah, I like people that call first. Good, that's why I'm calling you. Tuesday better than Wednesday. I didn't want to just stop on by. When you stop on by, I didn't want to call you because, you know, you get harassed with all those telephone calls going out to Ms. Jones. That's why I thought I'd stop on by. We're an old-fashioned company. I don't mind stopping by. Depends when I'm playing left field or second base. I mean, I just got to figure out what position I'm playing. See, am I in the offense or the defense? What am I playing here? I got to think about this because you're going to counter me. I got to think check, checkmate. Anybody play chess? I hate that game because you got to think 3 moves ahead. And I'm protecting my rook because I always like the way rooks look. I'm always protecting my rook, and they're killing everybody else I got in the board. And them guys 3 heads, why'd you do that? I'm going, what do you mean why'd I do that? I just took your player. You're going to regret that. What do you mean I'm going to regret that? You're going to lose. What do you mean I'm going to lose? I just took your player. Don't worry about it. 3 moves later, checkmate. Oh, no. That was 3 moves ahead. I can't think 3 moves ahead. In this business, we got to think at least 1 to 2 moves ahead of where our people are so that you're prepared, not caught off guard. See, and that's when you want to anticipate those kind of things. Let me ask you a question. And somebody keep notes for me if you would. Maybe Jack just make a note in the back of these. What are one of the common objections that you face when you're actually out working trying to set appointments now? Not in the house. Trying to set appointments. What's one of the common objections that come up when you're trying to set appointments?
Too busy. Too busy.
Too busy.
No time.
No time. We'll go a little slower. We got too busy, no time.
You're trying to sell me something.
Oh, you're trying to sell me something. He sounds like one of those guys in Chicago. He's trying to sell me something.
I'm not interested.
Oh, I'm not interested. That's right. Somebody said Louisiana favorite one. What was it? I'm insurance pool. That's Louisiana. I'm insurance pool, right? I'm insurance pool. Somebody here must have an objection from this crowd. What's one of the common objections when you're trying to set appointments?
I thought you were going to mail it to me.
Oh, I thought you were going to mail it to me, right? That's a natural one to say, right? How about back over here, gang? Can't afford it. Too expensive, can't afford it, whatever that means, right? I'm working on a fixed income. That's why I'm in Vegas this week. Okay, what else can't they afford?
We have all the insurance we need.
We have all the insurance we need. Oh, overinsured, right? All we got. What else? I don't want to be obligated. That's right.
My brother-in-law and grandson do this.
Oh, yeah, with A.L. Williams. That's right. They got that whole deal. So that's right. Get it right back in there. He got that. My brother-in-law and grandson does it, okay? Oh, my wife probably did this. Did what, Phil? Let us know about that. We can talk about that later, Phil, or what? We're getting personal here, Phil. We're just staying into objections here, Phil. We need to see Phil a little bit later, guys. Something struggling over here. Long day at Phil's house over there. That's right. It's okay, Phil. I got the mic. Anything you want to take over, it's all right. All right, what else you got? What else you got? What other? Pardon? Oh, I already got information. Oh, why didn't you call first, right? Got to call first. What the heck, right? Okay. How many do we have there, Jack? 68 or how many we got? 7? Let's get a couple more. Come on, get them all out of your system here. Oh, not a good time. That's right, because they're retired. Don't have any time is what you tell me, right? They're only retired.
My wife takes care of the insurance.
Oh, my wife takes care of the insurance.
Phil's wife takes
Oh, Phil's wife. Phil's wife takes care of the insurance. Yes, yes. All right, what else?
I'm going on vacation this week.
I'm going on vacation this week. I love that one, right? Because they are. They're going to Vegas. They're going all over the place. Fill up that Winnebago at $6,000 worth of gas.
My grandkids are here right now.
Oh, my grandkids, legit. My grandkids are here right now. All right?
I have a doctor's appointment.
I have a doctor's appointment. I'd just call me later, but that's right. I got a doctor's appointment. Okay, we got 9 or 10? Now, all right, we've got enough here for right now to do our role play. So what I'd like you is to do, we're going to assign one of these objections to each of these different groups here in the audience. And what I'm going to give you is about 5 or 10 minutes to actually come up with 1 or 2 rebuttals for the whole section, all right? So what I want you to try to do is, whichever one we give your group, we're going to appoint a captain, work on it. You can stay at your tables and work on it. And then what I want you to do is come back and pick a captain that's going to come up to the front and give your answers for your group to that objection. So we'll try to get that set up. But if you would, please, let's read the first. You just go ahead and read off the objection.
1 is too busy.
All right, too busy. Let's take these first 2 tables right here. You be the co-chairman, if you would, please, Chet, for these 2 tables right here, 2 groups. Too busy.
2 is no time.
No time. Let's take the 2 people in the back and kind of partner you up with the back row up here. And Tim, would you be the moderator for that group? Just right now. And you can appoint anybody you want to come up front and give it, or you can do it yourself.
3, you're selling something, aren't you?
You're selling something, aren't you? These 2 groups right here, and let's take, and if you wouldn't mind being the moderator for this group to keep them going, and you can appoint yourself or anybody to come up here and give the answers when we're done.
I'm insurance poor.
I'm insurance poor. Louisiana style. Ryan, why don't you take this group and moderate this group with these 2 rows right here, if you would. All right?
I thought you'd mail it to me.
Thought you'd mail it to me. The back row, and let's take the 2 back rows, if you would, talk to each other a little bit. And Jay, would you be the moderator for that group? Thank you.
Can't afford.
Can't afford it. All right, that gives us these 2 groups right back here. Chris, would you moderate this group? Can't afford these 2 tables right here, 2 rows.
I didn't mail anything in. Maybe my wife did.
Ooh, I didn't mail my wife. Oh, Ellen, you can handle that one. Ellen's going to moderate this group with these 2 tables right here. Got one more.
My wife handles that.
My wife handles that. Would you mind back row take that? Who wants to be the moderator? Because you get the chance to pick. You be moderator. All right, here we go. All right, let's take about 10 minutes maximum. Now, what I'd like you to do is try to come up with 1 or more answers or rebuttals to the objection you're assigned. Then appoint somebody to come up here. We're going to take for about 8 or 9 minutes to work on this. We're going to have somebody come up from each group and talk about it. Okay. Now, what we have, what I'd like to do is, who are the team captains? They're going to come up now. They're going to represent their group with the answers to those objections. Group 1, who's coming up from Group 1? Man right here. Hey, they love what I picked him real quick. Group 2, Tim. Going to bring the matinee lady up. All right, what else we got here? Yes, Group 3. Group 3. Oh, look at look at the pointed fingers here. Okay. Group 4. What we got? Oh, how did you get elected? Damn. Boy, they slid that one around here, didn't they? Okay, Group 5. Oh, I'm sorry, Beck. You volunteered? Oh, I got it. How about the next group, 6? Barbara, I remember you got elected twice. That's right. Oh, like they're putting Keith? Oh, no, it's whoever has to point him, okay? Last group. Oh, yeah, he volunteered twice. All right, let's bring up the group leaders. Come on down. Come on down. Come on down. Get it down here. Line them up over here. Come on down. You ought to see the prizes they're going to get. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead, read your objection, answer to the objection, and then what I'd like you to do, if you've got some other input that you'd like to add to that particular answer, then let's go ahead and do that.
Too busy. That's the reason I've called you versus just stopping by. Also, another one we had was I can appreciate that. The good thing about this is it only takes 10 or 15 minutes to go over the major changes in Medicare that you were interested in. And the last one is down like this. So am I. That's why I operate by appointment only. Would Tuesday or Wednesday be convenient?
All right.
Okay, this is at the door, and the objection is you're selling something, aren't you? And we came up with, I'm glad you asked. May I step in for a moment and show you? May I come in?
All right. That's called the silent close.
This one is, I have no time. I understand you're busy. I didn't mean right now. I just came by to introduce myself. Would tomorrow morning or afternoon work better for you?
Woo.
Ours was, I thought you would mail it. No, ma'am, we don't mail this type of sensitive information. Yeah, right. So much information, so many types of plans, it would cost a fortune to mail this or an agent out to your house. The other one was, our company has a local office to provide better service for you. Give me a chance to come out and introduce myself and meet you.
Woo.
Okay, ours was insurance poor, and this is over the telephone. I can appreciate that. A lot of people I talk to feel that way, and they have found it is a good idea to schedule an annual review. As a licensed agent, that is my specialty.
Whoa.
Okay, we took our objection was I can't afford it, and we took it as an over-the-phone objection. So we came up with 2. The first one was my service is free, And I'm simply trying to schedule an appointment to answer any and all of your questions. Is Tuesday or Wednesday better, and would morning or afternoon be better?
All right.
That was the first one. Okay, our second one was, part of my service is to show you how to protect your assets. And as the consultation is free and there is no obligation. I'll show you how you can't afford to let me come by.
Whoa, very good.
Ours was, my wife handles it, and handling it as if it's at the door. And I said, well, that's fine. I mean, so, is she available? And if she's not available, then you say, well, when's a good time that I can sit down with both of you and answer any questions you may have on the changes and any questions you may have on Medicare completely.
All right.
Our question is, I didn't mail anything in. My wife may have mailed it for me. Response was, that's okay. If you're like most people, you receive lots of mail. And I can't remember all the things I receive either. May I ask, is your wife available? Another response, great. I need to talk with both of you at the same time to answer your questions regarding the changes to Medicare. Is your wife available also?
All right, very good. Let's give them a round of applause. Nice job. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Not a bad job. Not a bad job. Pretty good. Now, one of the things we're talking about, as you see up here, we're talking about anticipate. When you look at anticipate, you want to anticipate the objections and also the mood. Don't walk out there like you think if you go to the house or call them on the phone. Try not to, everybody wants everybody to be in a good mood. You know, reverse the process. Pretend they're going to be in a bad mood. You know, you might catch some people, you ever get somebody in a bad mood, you kind of turn them around? You know, you ever say to somebody on the phone or in person that they give you a hard time, say, you know, Mr. Jones, it sounds like it's an inappropriate time for them to come right now. You know, if they're having a bad day or something's going on, but look, I didn't mean to interrupt anything like that. I'll be glad to give you a call back later. Is that okay? And soften it. There's other propositions you make with people. They don't recall sending the card in. Don't get stuck on that one so much. Try to pass over that one by saying, look, Ms. Jones, it's okay if you don't remember. Not a problem. Not a problem. We don't expect people to remember. That's why it's my job to work in this area, and I stop by all the concerned seniors once in a while and just stop by and see if we can be of service to you. I'm sure that if the card comes back later, I'll always come back out. You can do a lot of different things, but don't stay on the card so long as though they make the card the issue. I don't remember sending it back. That's okay, Mr. Jones, but let me ask you a question. Do you believe that Medicare is complex and confusing? Well, yeah, it sure is. Great, Mr. Jones. I'm glad I came by then. Would it be better for me to stop by later or come in right now? And I can maybe make it unconfusing for you because it is pretty simple. So you can do those type of things and relax when you look at that. Lack of knowledge. Anticipate they're not going to have the knowledge to hold an intelligent conversation with you. Not that they're not intelligent. It's they don't have a background in your thing. You're going here to school. They don't have a background in your school. So when you start getting into it and say, well, how much does this cost? Has everybody ever given a price out and regretted you did that? The minute you give a price out, you lose. You cannot win if you give a price out, you lose, especially on setting an appointment. Think about that. Well, why don't you just give me a price? Well, it's $39. That's too expensive. What? That's it. Bye. You lost. You don't know if they're paying $18, $48, or $168. Plus, they can't make fair comparisons anyway. It's hard for us to do it, and we're in the business. So anticipate that they're not going to have the same kind of knowledge that you have and try to break it down and make it easy for them to talk about it. And I always ask people that you'll get the ones where they tell you, well, I don't let anybody come to my home. Don't you get that one once in a while? I don't let anybody come to my home. That's a pretty common one. Hey, that's very simple. See, Mr. Jones, you know, we do work by appointment, but we can meet you at the senior center, we can meet you at our office, or we can come to your home if you really would like us to do that. Give them three choices. Make them feel relaxed. Come to the senior center. I'll meet you at the local senior center, and we'll arrange for an appointment there, or you can come to our office if you like. We'd be glad to pick you up, or if you're more comfortable, meet in your home, but it's your choice. Now I gave you three choices. It's not a matter. See, you're saying don't meet in your home. That's okay. We can certainly appreciate it. Mr. Jones, you feel much better and more comfortable. We're glad to pick you up, take you to our office, or meet you at the senior center. If you like, if you want to bring one of your kids along, that's fine. Oh, well, okay. That knocks all that apart in a very nice way. So you can do those kind of things, but think how they think. I'm nervous. I'm told don't go to strangers. Don't let strangers in my home. I can appreciate that. So we ought to be working senior centers too. If we're not working senior centers, I think we're missing the boat that we ought to make some relationship with the local senior center so that you do have the comfort that you could go over there, know where the local one is in case you got to get somebody to come on by. That's always a great place to go. It's a nice, and they know where the senior centers are in most cases. They usually do. Now stop the tape. This is the step which a lot of salespeople have difficulty in mastering. So I want you to spend some extra time preparing yourself. Look at your written appointment approach from your prior steps. Now read your lead and your script. Write down the obvious appointment objections, which you know will come up because of the words you've chosen to use for your approach. Next, write out the 3 rebuttal statements for each objection you've listed. Rehearse them over and over again until they sound like you. Now start the tape and listen to step 7, control. Likely objections, the appointment objections based upon your lead copy. So remember one thing we talked about earlier. Look at the lead copy to find out what objections you know you're going to have to handle first. Second one, what are the controlling questions that counter these objections? One of the things we're going to be talking about are what I call control questions. And that's the C portion of what we're going to next. We talked about anticipate. What I like to try to have you entertain using among whatever you use now are control questions. And control questions that to me made a difference when I was working in the marketing side and sales side. And it became easier for me to make up questions than it did really answers. What do questions do? When I ask you a question, Ron, what does that do to you?
Makes me participate.
Makes you participate. Yeah. Also puts you on the defense in a sense. Makes you have to think, right?
Yes.
All right. So if I force you to think and you have a limited background in the subject, you're not going to have too many objections because you don't know much about the subject. You're just going to say, well, I don't know. Well, what do you think about chemistry? Well, I don't know much about chemistry. Well, Bob, then we ought to get together. Because not a whole lot of conversation you're going to have about chemistry. What do you think about politics? I don't have an opinion about politics. See, if you don't know too much about the subject area and I ask you a question about it, say, well, what do you think the best type you ought to have, Ron? Well, I don't know. Good. That's all the reason we ought to get together, because I know. I can help you and be helpful in that subject area. So I'm looking at questions, examples. Well, let me do this to you. Let's say that you had the objection, well, I want you to send me the information. Don't you get that a lot? Send me the information. Mr. Jones, I'll give you a simple answer. We can't. But you go on more than that. We can't, Mr. Jones. You know why? Because in order to do that for you, I need to ask you a couple of questions. I need to first know the amount of money you're willing to spend, your health conditions, and the options you want to pick. Allow me to have that information, and I'll give you exactly what you need. Tuesday better than Wednesday. Isn't that half your figure of premium? No, you got me wrong, Mr. Jones. I'll be glad to give you the information, and we'll custom make it for you. But I need to know what benefit options you're considering, what kind of fixed budget I'm working with, right? Is that right? And kind of what your health condition's like. Help me out there, and I'll be glad to give you information. I'll make some sense for you, and you'll understand it. Tuesday better than Wednesday when I go back to take care of that. See, now I've talked to them how to figure a rate. I didn't say I'm going to figure a rate for you. I just told you what I have to do in order to get a rate, because that's the only information you really want from me, right? What does it cost, and what do I get? Before I give you that, I got to ask you 3 questions. Then I can give you the information that you wanted. So get them back with some logic. Put some logic back into the flow of things, and boy, all of a sudden you turn there and go, well, yeah, I guess it makes sense to me. How long is that going to take? I don't know. You got a lot of questions? No? Okay, good. I'll always ask them back. I always take it away. They say they can see me. I say, do you have a lot of questions? No. Good. May I come in? Remember that. There's a secret to that. The minute they say they don't know or you can come in, hesitate before you go. Say, oh, well, Mr. Jones, do you have a lot of questions? Well, no, I don't think so. Good. May I come in? Now they're going, well, the guy don't have a lot of questions. Gee, that's good. He's not going to stay very long. So you're breaking down all the resistance because you're thinking like they think. There's a saying in the market, think like they think, act like they act, and talk like they talk. If you put yourself in their shoes, you'll start to understand how to counter and control the line of scrimmage. Because I understand their reservations. I understand how they feel. Now, how many have parents living yet? We talked about in their 60s or 70s or whatever. And this is not picking on seniors. And I say this because I love my family dearly. My mom and dad are still alive. They live in Wiggins, Mississippi. I tell this story all the time, and I've got permission to tell it. I think until they see the tape, but that's okay. But I think I have permission to tell it. Anybody watch Seinfeld when it was on? Everybody know who Seinfeld is? Everybody see Kramer? That's my best guy. That Kramer's got moves coming through a door like nobody could have. You know, Kramer's got it. Could you imagine Kramer in a cold call and get rejected? I mean, could you just see when George is like this? That'd be George. Kramer would be flying all off the porch. But when I talk about my parents, I got to say, I think they're typical seniors. My mom will call every Sunday. Calls us, and I'm in Dallas. She's in Mississippi. Conversation kind of goes like this. Hello. I say, hello, Mom. Hi, Donald. It's Donald. They know, Mom, is it you, right, Donald? Yeah, Mom, it's me. You called me. It's me. It's okay. There's only one Donald here. She'll go through and say, how's it going, Mom? Terrible. That's a positive day. Yeah, Mom, what's up? You don't know how bad it is to be retired. Mom, I'm working to retire. Oh, if I had your money. I said, you don't know how bad it is to be retired. It's terrible. It's terrible. And she's out screaming on the phone. I got her an answering machine. Because my wife and I will sit there and listen. That's the Sunday call, and we're just kind of listening to this because it's the same routine. So she goes through and she says, we had a $29 hospital last week. $29 hospital bill. Yeah? You don't know how tough it is working in a fixed income. Okay, I got it. Mom, if I had a $29 hospital, I would just bless everybody in America. 29 says, I've got those, those 6 cars and those 3 kids, but you make more. I says, I spend more. I'm trying to survive to get any money toward retirement. You're already retired. Oh, no, it's terrible. Your father and I, you don't know how bad it is. He hardly can drive anymore. He hardly can see. My dad's doing fine. Don't have glasses. He's 77 years old, still don't have glasses. I mean, he can see pretty good. So we're going through the deal, and I says, well, I said, but you don't know what your father did. Anything new? Yeah, he bought a new car. Now, we went from a $29 hospital bill to a new car. I said, what did he buy, Mom? He bought a new Lincoln. I said, wait a minute. I'm losing track here. He bought a Lincoln. Yeah, but he had to pay cash. He had to pay cash because we didn't want to pay a lot of extra interest on our money. That's got good logic behind it, right? That's great logic, right? Now, the $29 hospital was devastating, but the $41,000 for Lincoln cash had no problem. Had no problem in that one. That was petty cash fund he went to.